Hello, I'm Alexandra Pascal, and I'm an instructor at Access Martial Arts in Rugby, Warwickshire. Today, I wanted to talk about the application of knife throwing in reality-based self-defense. So, when it comes to using a knife in these sort of situations, typically, this weapon is your secondary weapon rather than your primary, because in this case, your primary is your gun, and we're going to be throwing this knife to achieve the distance or to get the distance that we need in order to be able to employ a firearm and actually shoot them optimally and actually get them dead. We will be throwing this knife no spin in this technique for the sake of, if you used rotation and half spin, it wouldn't necessarily be very applicable since you have to be at a very set range or distance, like a very specific distance, for them to actually land, which isn't the case with no spin. You can use it more flexibly and more sort of dynamically because you don't have to be at that specific distance for them to land. They will pretty much stick so long as you're at a reasonable distance. And in this sort of technique, we'll also be using the Fairbairn-Sykes method of knife fighting, which usually employs going for the hands to disarm them, going for the eyes to blind them, and then stabbing them in the throat. Usually when you do that in a combat situation, you do that, first person is typically down, in which case you start going to knife throwing. If there is a secondary person coming at you, it is quite handy because you can throw that knife, and then at that case you'll get the distance that you required in order to use your gun. So when you do it properly, it should look like boom. And then at that point, you engage them with your firearm, your primary weapon. So like I said, that is usually applicable in that sort of combat situation, but maybe it's something that can be discussed. We can discuss it in the comment section. There's sort of a lot of other ways to apply it, but in this situation, I thought that that would be best to sort of apply it in that manner. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye.